students abroad, but I do have experiences in research and in traveling abroad, though somewhat different experiences. First of all, anyone who knows me well knows that I take great pride in matching. For example, orange shirt, orange socks, resonates well with this very orange room. The color of the University of Texas, where I did my PhD, and also the orange color of a toxic cloud of bromine that you see if you let it out of the bottle, which is relevant because I work in the bromine research and development group at Albemarle. Also, I hear that wearing orange makes people welcome in this area.
Yeah, don't read too much into that. Okay? That's a different orange.
I'll make it fit if I can. So my experience abroad primarily consists of cave exploration projects that I went on in Mexico. I drove from Austin, Texas to San Luis Potosí once. Also some similar projects in Nuevo León state. I've had some brief forays into Brazil. I once had to go to Amsterdam for 3 weeks to oversee the startup of a research and development project that I had contracted out to a company in Amsterdam. And most recently, I spent a few weeks in Guatemala this winter. So why am I here? First of all, because I'm very interested in the subject matter of this symposium. Secondly, I think someone mentioned yesterday that it's impossible to say no to Randy, who invited me here. He had some kind of hypothesis about the types of skills and characteristics that make a student successful abroad overlap with that which will make an employee successful in a research and development kind of position at a company like Albemarle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Albemarle, a little bit about what qualities I think a student can develop abroad that overlap well with what makes someone successful in this company. And I'll tell that story using as many pictures as possible from my international experiences. So first of all, the research abroad experience for a student is directly applicable to work in a company like Albemarle because of the global footprint that we have. We have manufacturing sites all over the world. We have R&D centers in at least 4 countries: the United States, Netherlands, Germany, Republic of Texas. So just a little bit about us. We have 4 major businesses. We make catalysts for refinery processes, for making plastics. We produce lithium, bromine, and we also have a surface treatment business. As I mentioned, I work in the bromine research and development group. A lot of brominated compounds have a lot of different applications, but the volumes of some of these are shrinking now. So in my research group, we're looking for new applications for bromine. And here's some pictures from my recent trip to Guatemala. Climbed an active volcano, visited where the Mayans used to live, visited where the Mayans live now. This is the oldest bar in Quetzaltenango, which is the 2nd most populated city in Guatemala. It's almost entirely indigenous. Tourists never go there. But I went to Guatemala with my friend Miguel, who was actually a co-worker at Albemarle. I met him there. He grew up in Guatemala City. I went with him and his family. And that's an important point that I would like to make about what I think is an important factor about sending students abroad, which is to make sure that they're not simply clumped together with other people from their home country, that they're actually put in a situation where they can make connections to the people there. Because if they're not being immersed in the culture that way, they are going to miss out on all of the most interesting possibilities of what can be experienced in that particular location. So yeah, that's Miguel and I in Quetzaltenango. This is Miguel and I. Also Miguel's 9-month-old. On the shore of a lake and at the top of an inactive volcano near Quetzaltenango. This lake is interesting because it's a sacred site to the Mayans. There's altars to their various deities around the circumference of this lake, and there were in fact some Mayans doing a ritual on the lake shore while we were there. So this is some interesting experiences there. Now shifting gears a little bit, this is a trip I went on in Mexico. This is in Nuevo Leon State. You drive through a little valley in the mountains west of the town Bustamante, and you can navigate your way if you're following people from that area who know where to go, since there's no public roads or anything. But you can come out to this mesa, and you can climb this pile of rubble here to the northern face. So there's a lot of 4,000-year-old drawings on the rocks. For example, here's some symbols foretelling extraterrestrials raining fire onto the earth, the sun. Here's some other symbols, some kind of time machine or basket. This symbol leaped out to me. Clearly, this is a smokestack, and it's orange, like bromine, foretelling the future coming of the bromine industry. But my point is, I am not the least bit qualified to interpret what any of these symbols mean. I don't know anything about it. And that's the point I wanted to make. Words, phrases, symbols, they hold very different meanings to different groups of people. Another example that I'm stealing from my friend Anita. This is Anita in her native habitat, Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is me not in my native habitat. But anyway, she would say things like, kill 2 rabbits with 1 stick, which my first impression of what a brutal saying, but we say kill 2 birds with 1 stone to mean accomplishing two purposes with 1 action. But then also, I found out after a lengthy argument that when someone from there says, have cold feet, what does that mean? What does that mean to you, Will? If I say you have cold feet?
You're intimidated.
You're intimidated. You give up at the first sign of opposition, you turn back. No, there having cold feet means you're unlucky.
What?
Yeah, so it's a phrase that you think it means one thing, but maybe it means something completely different to someone from another place. Even though they're speaking the same language, you think the same sequence of words. No. This example here is from a friend Miguel, who I already mentioned. He before he was in the United States, he did a study abroad program in Belgium, and people in Belgium would ask him, "Hey, when are you leaving?" And he thought that was so rude. Like, why they don't want me in their country over here? But eventually he figured out, you know, that's just their way of saying, hey, how long are you staying here? And they just phrase it different, but it didn't mean the same connotation that he thought. And so traveling abroad, I think, makes us more aware of these kinds of nuances in language and how communication can break down because things mean something slightly different to them than they mean to us. And this is important at Albemarle, first of all, because we have people from a lot of different cultures working together. Secondly, we have people from a lot of different disciplines working together. So when chemists try to talk to engineers, we have the same kind of issue. And of course, there's a particular corporate culture, and within the company, there's words, phrases, and symbols that have their own particular meaning within the company. I like this example because I'm a chemist. Are there any synthetic organic chemists in here? Yeah, you guys. So the acronym TEA. Triethylamine. Yeah, that's what I would think. But at Albemarle, we manufacture triethylaluminum. So guess what TEA is? So you read a document, it has this acronym. No, it's triethylaluminum. You want to know the acronym for triethylamine is TEAM. So anyway, along these same lines of appreciation of the importance of good communication is the quality of engaging everyone. When someone travels abroad, they learn to appreciate that they are absolutely dependent on the people around them. Simple things like their survival, knowing how the transportation works, how to get from point A to point B. At Albemarle on my first day, an older chemist advised me make friends with everyone, figure out what everyone does within the organization. I think a lot of high-performing engineering or students in other sciences who have not had travel abroad kind of experiences, they have a tendency to think that their success is primarily a function of their own technical merit. But you're in a place like Albemarle, there's no problem that's so small that only one person can solve it alone. So you're always depending on other people to perform different functions so that you can succeed at what your own goals are. Another important quality that's developed from traveling abroad that's important at Albemarle is adaptability, going with the flow, handling uncertainty. This is promoted by traveling abroad because you learn to experience a new place, new people, being open to different ideas, different ways of thinking. And of course, things don't always go as planned. So you learn to be flexible and make the most of the situation. A large component of my PhD work was in developing membranes for fuel cells. I did some work on materials for lithium-ion batteries. So it was my expectation when they hired me and I joined this research group that I would be working on the bromine flow battery project, since that's directly applicable to what I was doing before, the materials for energy conversion technologies. And my boss is walking into the gate. I'm like, hey, am I going to work on this project? No, you're going to work on this other project. We're going to develop this other thing. It's this gas phase, high pressure chemistry or solid acid support. Nothing related to anything that I've ever done before. And my subsequent projects have also been not related to anything I've ever done before. So the projects that you work on come and go primarily as a function of business needs, and so it's a lot more important to be able to learn a new area quickly than to be a master at some other particular subject area. So that's all I have to say about adaptability. Two other characteristics which I think I can tie together in a nice metaphor from these pictures here is curiosity and fearlessness. So this is actually my first time in Mexico. We were going on a cave exploration project, but we couldn't do what we went to do there because it had been raining too much, the water was too high, so we went to this state park, and there are some caves that are open to the public there. We were just going to go look in there, but the people working in the park had recently discovered a new cave, and so they invited us to go in there. So yeah, we were curious enough about what's in that hole in the ground there to climb down a makeshift knotted rope into a 20-foot deep pit. And of course, you know, since we were curious enough to climb down there and fearless enough, then we get to see the treasure that's in the hole. And I think this is a good metaphor for venturing into the unknown, finding new knowledge that can be brought back, similar to traveling abroad, similar to solving any important scientific question. So yeah, I think traveling abroad encourages curiosity, which is an essential quality to be successful in a research and development position at a company like Albemarle. But of course, you have to be fearless as well to follow that path that curiosity led you down. I think traveling abroad teaches the student to step outside of their comfort zone, and to be successful at Albemarle, you have to step outside of your comfort zone all the time. Not only is the nature of the work somewhat dangerous, but constantly have to learn new areas and how to perform new tasks, and also defend what we're doing to people higher up in the organization. Yeah, all of this requires fearlessness. So to summarize, experience with other cultural groups is directly applicable to working at an international corporation now. And also the kinds of qualities that someone brings from these experiences are conducive to success. Good communication, engaging everyone, adaptability, curiosity, fearlessness. I have an acknowledgement slide. I'd like to thank Albemarle, of course. I'd like to thank Randy for inviting me. If you ever find yourself in his home, you should ask for him to bring out this bottle of wine. Everyone who knows Randy knows he has a excellent wine collection. I'd also like to acknowledge the younger generation of Durans through whom I met Randy. There's a representative example here, Sophie. I'm friends with his daughters. They're part of Argentine tango community in Baton Rouge. This picture's from one such party, but it tells another story as well. Because I also made it a going away party for my friend Anya's who's a student from France, doing a PhD at LSU. And yeah, And Miguel, a friend from Guatemala, actually took this picture. So basically, it's a way to represent all of the international people who I've encountered at home and abroad, who've touched my life in a meaningful way and helped provide material for this presentation.